Hello, and welcome once again to my continuing series on the facts about life. Important stuff to know. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about moral conduct and the law and our need as a society and a nation for law. And I'm going to end with a little bit about the grand design of the universe, the grand scheme of God, and the purpose of that scheme in the development of our lives and the unfoldings of our potentials. Truly, the grand scheme is the golden road to happiness and all the good things in life. So anyhow, on to moral conduct in the law. Saints and sages notwithstanding, the great mass of humanity, of the population, require restraint. People are not naturally inclined to adequately restrain their own passions or their own sloth, their laziness. They must be compelled to do so by acknowledging the primacy of morality and the law. Just think for a minute and estimate the proportion of the population who you believe to be selfish or frivolous or just plain stupid. Now, consider how the freest of free discussions is likely to improve them. The only way by which it is practically possible to protect the good of us from the evils in the worst of us is by compulsion and restraint. Sadly, although most of the evildoers among us end up in prison, we have not as yet been very successful in bringing about genuine penitence on their part or causing them to change their way of thinking and reform themselves into good, moral people. How I wish it were so, that the simple application of some behavioral techniques would bring out in everyone their innate goodness and their desire to do and be good and to reap the benefits of that way of living and being. Well, part of the grand scheme of living and being is being part of the grand scheme of God. God's purpose, God's purposes, God's schemes. Well, that grand scheme of God is beyond the ability of the human mind to completely know or comprehend. However, those closer to knowing the scheme of God than me, all of the enlightened saints and sages of history, they have told us that the object and purpose of human life is to evolve ourselves into higher ways of thinking and being. We are charged with the goal of improving ourselves. God has told us that in order to accomplish our higher-minded spiritual goals, we must dedicate ourselves to living a morally virtuous life. And we must resist the influences and the dominations posed by the 7 deadly sins. For a reason they're called deadly. They're destructive of the goodness in life. In order to accomplish this really quite arduous task, we need to learn to control the beast in us, our animal nature, the animal side of human nature. The surest way to master the beast is through the applications of awareness, your very presence, being present, by the applications of reason, and through reason, the desire to apply virtue into our lives and transcend the animal. When we live our lives under the direction of reason and the cardinal virtues, good stuff happens. We are impelled along pathways to heightened awareness, prosperity, and contentments, the contentments of serene happiness. A disciplined mind and a disciplined will that imposes virtue upon our thinking and our conduct is the means to those ends. Happiness, prosperity, a fulfilling and wonderful life, a life where we always are experiencing the good feelings that arise in us through the applications of virtue and awareness and reason into our lives. We become quite confident beings, quite happy, content with being here, living life as a human, finding the best in it, and experiencing joys and happiness. Indeed, so surely, the joys of lovingness, feeling love, loving others, and loving yourself, certainly. You are a part of the divine creation of God. Just an unbelievable being with unbelievable potential. Wow, what grand thoughts. Let's go with that today. That's it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. As always, giving you my love and wishing you farewell for today. Bye-bye.